My name is John Aviles, and I'll be doing a review of It Chapter 2. First and foremost, for me, I would like to say that I really appreciated how the writers and the director took the time to fluidly move from the first film into this one. I know a lot of people like to hang on to the It with Tim Curry, which was a wonderful, more of a thriller creepiness. This film is definitely more in your face, and they kind of have to be because the culture that we live in, you expect more. So they definitely ramped it up and brought in some really nice elements. Like, for example, the connection between the younger actors and the older actors was palpable. You could actually sense it from the film that perhaps the older actors took some time to sit with the younger actors and talk with them and find out what their characters were like so that they themselves could pull forward and go, okay, well, if I was that person, this is where I might be, later on in my life. Some of the characters, you could tell that they never left that town. They never left Derry. They mentally were locked there. Other characters did everything they could to get away from who they were in that town. And one of the things that I appreciated about the film as well is that not only was it intelligently written, you see characters making choices that you yourself might make in these crazy situations. So I appreciate it. It's not just a stupid horror film where, everyone's dying and you just look at them and go, why would you go there? Why would you go into that room? Everything seemed to have a purpose. So if they went to a scary part of the house, there was a reason they went there. If they met with someone, there was a reason that they met with that person. Everything was a step that led you towards the conclusion. And I know a lot of people, they either get too much gore, which takes away from a storyline, or they get a slow storyline with not enough thrill and action and things like that. So I think this film did a perfect blending of the two. There was enough scary elements, but also a really well-written story to kind of keep you intrigued as to what's going to happen next with these people that you actually do care about. That's another big part of the film that I appreciated, that you got a chance to care about these people. So when something happened to them, you went, oh, no, not that, not them. Don't let that happen to them. You started feeling a little anxious and concerned, which you should be in a film like this. But it's also something that's lacking in a lot of the films that are out there right now. So that is an element I really liked. I also appreciated the artistry of the film. There were a lot of practical effects as well as digital effects. So I thought that those blended and complemented each other. And I know that, at least for me, with a lot of horror films, it's either a lot of CGI or a lot of practical, but there's not really a complementary element to the two. So I felt this film did that. They were able to complement each other. Of course, one of the fun things about going to see a film like this is seeing with other people, and so the theater was very involved with the film. There's some jokes in the writing and a lot of suspense, a lot of thrills, and I saw the film with my wife, and so it was actually kind of fun watching her get scared because this one actually got her a lot more than the first one did. The first one got her a couple of times, but this one really got her a bunch of times. And like I said, they really boosted up the Pennywise character, making him a little bit more intense, but definitely more violent, more volatile, less of the creepy element and more of the just aggressive, take your face off kind of thing. As I mentioned, the acting quality is amazing. They got a phenomenal set of actors. Jessica Chastain, James McAvoy, and Bill Hader were all some of the heavier hitters in this film. But even the other characters who may not have had as big a name definitely carried their own weight in the film. And even the little kids, which they brought in as kind of like flashbacks and elements of the psychology of the film, definitely carried their own. They had strength. And you never felt like, oh, this actor is not quite up to snuff. All the actors from young to the older were right on par, were amazing. And I walked out of the film with a big smile on my face, very excited, definitely looking forward to maybe seeing it again because I like to watch films and maybe catch something that I didn't see the first time around. So yeah, I really, really enjoyed the film. I highly recommend that if you're into the horror genre, that you go see this. I don't think that it takes away from the original storyline, from the original It with Tim Curry. I think it's just a retelling of it. But again, it's not for shock value. It didn't come off as, oh, we're just doing this to get extra money. They actually took time to develop a story, to develop these characters, to develop these scenarios, to develop, why these people are doing what they do. Even Pennywise, why does he do what he does, and things like that. So that made for a really well-rounded film, not just a shock and awe film. It was really well done and well-rounded. So I highly recommend it. If you can, go out and check out this film.
I was always Daddy's little girl. What about you? Are you still his little girl, Beverly? Are you?